Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I share my recipe on how I prepare this mouth-watering and delicious ogbono soup that I'm sure you would love. Without wasting much time, let's get right into this video. I'm going to start by preparing my soup base, and inside this pot I have some beef. I'm going to season it with some chopped onions, seasoning cubes, and some salt to taste. You can use any protein of your choice. I also added one Scotch bonnet pepper for heat. I gave this a good stir to combine all the ingredients, and then I'll cover the pot and I'll allow it to simmer on low heat for about 8 to 10 minutes. During this time, the beef will release its own juice inside the pot, and you have to really do this on low heat or it will get burnt. If you've not been doing this, I suggest you start doing it. It helps the beef to taste even better. You can do it for pretty much any protein you're using to cook. So this is 10 minutes later. As you can see, the beef has released a lot of juice already. I'm just going to give this one quick stir and then add some water to it. I'll cover the pot and allow it to cook until the beef becomes tender. In a different pot, I'm using a pressure cooker for this. I added some cow leg, intestine, and some biscuit bone or brisket bone. What do you call that? So I seasoned it with the same ingredients I used to season the beef. I added some chopped onions, seasoning cubes, and some salt to taste. So I'm going to add enough water to cook this through, and I'll cook this until the meat becomes very soft. While that is cooking, I'll go ahead to prep the rest of the ingredients. So this is crayfish. I'll take out the debris from the crayfish and then grind it into a smooth powder. Here I have some Scotch bonnet pepper, atorodo, use as much as you can tolerate, and this is the blended pepper. You all know I love using dry fish, especially mangala, for my soup, but in today's recipe I'll be using smoked catfish. I have 2 of these inside this plate. I'm adding hot water into the plates. I'll add enough to cover the fish and I'll allow it to sit for about 2 minutes. This will help to remove some dirt from the skin and also make the deboning process a lot easier. My vegetable of choice for this recipe is ugu, and I have some fresh ugu leaves here. These are already washed, so I'll proceed to cut off the tips and then slice them up. I have heard that the best vegetable for ogbono soup is uziza leaf or the dry uziza seed, but I haven't used it before. If you've been making your ogbono soup with uziza leaf or the seeds, I would like to know if it's actually the best. I would love to read your comments in the comment section. This is iru, locust bean, and this is the oga patapata of the ogbono. This is what ogbono looks like. I'm going to blend this with a dry blender, and after blending I'll heat up some palm oil and then I'll transfer the palm oil into the blended ogbono. I'm going to mix this until the ogbono dissolves completely in the oil. Before I forget, let me say this real quick. I heated up the oil for about 1 minute. You don't want the oil to be so hot or it's going to fry the ogbono, and if that happens, the sliminess of the ogbono, the viscosity of the ogbono will be reduced greatly, and we don't want that for this soup. It's time to check on the meat. The meat is almost cooked at this point. I'm going to take out the Scotch bonnet pepper that I added for heat. The cow leg and the intestine is also cooked at this point, so I'm going to add them into the beef. I also added the deboned catfish. The next ingredient to go in is the iru, which is also called locust bean. You can use ogiri ogbe in place of iru. I added the roughly blended peppers. Use as much pepper as you can tolerate. And then I added the grounded crayfish. I added enough water to cover the meat. The water will serve as my soup base. I'll give it a quick stir, cover and allow it to cook. So this has been cooking for about 5 minutes now, and it's time to check up on it. And this is what it's looking like. It's boiling really well. So next to go in is the dissolved ogbono. I will stir this to combine everything together, and I'll also reduce the heat. You have to cook this on low heat. No matter what you do, please do not be tempted to add salt or seasoning at this point, because the meat stock already contains salt and the iru also contains some salt. For you to get that wonderful taste of ogbono, you have to cook the ogbono for a long time. But you have to do it on low heat, and you go in occasionally to stir to prevent it from getting burnt. Cooking ogbono for like 10 minutes will not bring out the real taste of ogbono. The soup has been cooking for about 15 minutes now. Don't just love the face of this soup. This soup is giving everything it's supposed to give. The sliminess of the ogbono is top notch. By the way, I got this ogbono from Nsukka. They sell very good ogbono there. If you're in Nigeria, you can place order to get your ogbono from Nsukka. And if you're outside Nigeria, they can always ship to you. You just have to blend it and they will ship to you. Then if you want to preserve the quality of the ogbono, it's best to preserve it in your freezer. There are different reasons why the sliminess of the ogbono is not so effective. It's either because you use very hot oil to mix the ogbono, or the ogbono has become moldy, or you got bad ogbono. So I seasoned this with a little bit of salt. You have to be careful with the salt. I also added some grounded pepper. Yes, the soup has to be spicy. So I gave this a good stir to combine. It's time to add in the ugu leaf. Once the leaves are inside the pot, I'll let it simmer for about 2 minutes so as not to overcook the vegetables. Later, this pot of delicious ogbono soup is ready to be served and enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you all for stopping by, and I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye.